start with the introduction. Jose Rizal's second novel, El Filibusterismo, is a sequel to his first novel, No Limitang Here. The novel, also known as El Fili or simply Fili, was written in Spanish as well. The usual English alternative title is The Reign of Greed. The Fili, popularly referred to as a dark, brooding, a sometimes satirical novel of vengeance, unfulfilled love and tragedy, still features Juan Crisostomo Ibarra as its protagonist. It consists of 38 chapters. Here are the contents of our presentation. First, the writing and printing of Fili.
October 1887 in Calamba, Rizal started writing the second novel, El Filibusterismo. In London in 1888, he continued to work on it, revising it. Rizal continued his manuscript in Paris, then Rizal moved in Brazil, where distractions are less and cost of living was cheaper. Then on March 29, 1891, he finally finished the book during he was in Biarritz. Jose Alejandro, Rizal's roommate in Belgium, claimed to have canvas printing presses for El Fili. In Ghent, he delivered proofs and revisions to F. Muir Van Lee. Rizal thanked him by giving the corrected proofs of El Fili and the pen he used to make the corrections. Alejandro, who later became a general in the Philippine Revolution, may have been the first person to read the novel. The honor of being dubbed the savior of the Fili had gone to Valentin Ventura, Rizal's friend, who helped the fund novel's publication. Rizal founded of El Fili's printing by pawning his properties. July 9, 1891, in dated The Letter to Jose Basa, he explained, "For the past 3 months I have not received a single centavo, so I have pawned everything I own to publish this book. I'll keep publishing it as long as I can, and when there's nothing left to pawn, I'll stop." Then Rizal informed Basa that the printed had to be suspended due to a lack of funds. Ventura offered Rizal assistance after learning of his predicament. In retrospect, we can assume that Ventura was troubled by his conscience, which explains his generous financial support for Rizal's novel. The printed El Fili, which came off the press by the middle of September 1891, had only 38 chapters compared to the Nolly's 64, contrary to his original plan to write a longer sequel. Then Ventura rewarded Rizal for being a good deed by giving him the novel's original manuscript, a pen, and an autographed printed copy as of now.
Filibustero and Gomborza.
The novel title Filibusterismo is derived from the simpler term filibustero. Rizal defined the term filibustero to his friend Ferdinand Blumentritt, who came across but did not fully comprehend the term in the Noli. In a letter, Rizal explained the word filibustero is little known o kilala sa Pilipinas. Una niya itong narinig year 1872 sa executions ng Gomborza, o mas kilala bilang tatlong paring martir. The word filibustero means a dangerous patriot who will soon be hung or a presumptuous man. Ang libro ni Rizal ay dedicated sa memory ng Gomborza or the 3 Filipino patriotic priests na naakusahang filibustero at nahatulan ng execution. In his dedication, Rizal stated unequivocally that the Spanish officials' treatment of the priest case was unjust, because their complicity in the Cavite Mutiny is not proved. The dedication partly read to the memory of the priest Don Mariano Gomez, 73 years old, Don Jose Burgos, 30 years old, and Don Jacinto Zamora, 35 years old. I have the right to dedicate my work to you as a victim of the evil which I undertake to combat. Ang salitang Gomborza ay nanggaling sa apelyido ng tatlong paring martir. On the other hand, si Rizal ay nagkaroon ng error sa pag-indicate ng age at date of execution ng tatlong pari. Gomez was 73, not 85 at the time of their martyrdom, on February 17, not 28, 1872. Burgos was 35, not 30, and Zamora was 37, not 35. Like many other students today, particularly men, Rizal may have struggled to remember historical details, such as dates and ages.
The theme and synopsis of Jose Rizal's El Filibusterismo.
Here are the objectives of Dr. Jose Rizal in writing the novel. First, to defend Filipino people from foreign accusations of foolishness and lack of knowledge. Second, to show how the Filipino people lived during Spanish colonial period and the cries and woes of countrymen against abusive officials. And lastly, to expose the cruelties, graft, and corruption of the false government and honestly show the wrongdoings of the Filipinos that led to further failure. No Limitangere and El Filibusterismo have similarities in terms of aim and purpose. Both of these novels aim to enlighten the Filipinos on what is happening in the country. They want the people to fight for their country and have the total freedom. Next, the novel's theme. Indeed a continuation of the Noli, the El Filibusterismo exposes the real picture of Filipino society at the hands of the Spanish authorities. What makes El Fili essentially different from its prequel is that it offers various methods for achieving social reform and hits at what the author thought was ideal. The main character's determination to carry out the rebellion, on the other hand, appears to imply that independence can be obtained through revolution. The theme and plot of El Filibusterismo was changed to convey the message that the present system of government in the Philippines, through corrupt officials dominated by the friars, can lead to the downfall of Spain. This point was stressed by Simon in the novel, when he said, "What is a man to do when he is denied justice? Take the law into his own hands or wait for Spanish to give him rights."
The book narrates the return of protagonist of No Limitangere, Crisostomo Ibarra, under the disguise of wealthy jeweler named Simon. Delusioned by the abuse of the Spanish, Ibarra abandons his pacifist beliefs in order to return to the Philippines and start a violent revolution. No Limitangere Baseo, now a young man and a skilled medical student, is recruited by Ibarra to aid him in detonating a bomb at a social gathering, signaling the beginning of the revolution. However, Basilio warns his friend Isagani, realizing that the woman he loves is in the building. Isagani throws the bomb into the river, averting the explosion and the revolution. The priest, Father Florentino, upon Simon's death, commends the jewels into the sea, remarking that the jewels once used to bribe and corrupt people would one day be hopefully found to be used for a meaningful purpose. After that, Simon made a new plan to kill the friars and the Spanish officials in the event, but it didn't succeed because of Isagani.
Nole and Fili is stolen. The Permanent Commission of Censorship recommended an absolute prohibition on the importation, reproduction, and circulation of Nole during Rizal's time. The copies of Fili, on the other hand, were destroyed by customs in Manila upon shipment to the Philippines. The rare surviving copies of novels were secretly purchased and, according to one friend of the family, had to be read in the smallest, most private room in the house, the toilet. That is what happened to the first editions of Rizal's novel. After a few days, the thieves who outwitted the building's sleepy guards sent a ransom note to the Rizal National Centennial Commission. The robbers demanded 1.4 million pesos in exchange for the original text, or Rizal's work would be burned. To summarize the historic robbery, the then Education Secretary Alejandro Anding Roses personally met the burglars and, after some wrangling, retrieved the document without paying a single centavo.
Comparing No Limitangere and El Filibusterismo. First, No Limitangere. No Limitangere is a romantic novel, a book of the heart, a book of feeling. It has freshness, color, humor, and intelligence. It contains 64 chapters, while El Filibusterismo is a political novel, a work of the head, a book of thought. It contains bitterness, hatred, pain, violence, and sorrow. It contains 38 chapters. As we compare it with each other, No Limitangere is a romantic and societal novel that was dedicated to his motherland. The novel tells us about the government and the church officials, the justice system, and livelihood of the people, Rizal thought that the Filipinos were suffering from Spaniards, so this novel was written to let the people be encouraged to ask and aspire for change and liberation.
The Legacy of Noli and El Fili.
These two novels opens the eyes of the Filipino to see how Spaniard abused the right of Filipinos. It shows how Spaniard treat us like a dog before. These two novels present how rich person treat other people in their society and how they abuse other people to gain more power. These novels of Rizal awakes our heart to fight for our country. Rizal's novels ignite our passion for our country that is better to die for freedom than to die as a slave in our homeland.
Thank you.